Hello. This is my first YouTube video, and in this video I painted and framed I painted a picture frame, but I framed a piece of art. The art, I believe it's sunset over the Taos Mountains, I think. It's by Terry Davis. So in painting of the frame, I followed a book called Making Picture Frames in Wood by Manly Bannister. First thing I did was I had to figure out what mat. So in this project I started with the art, which typically is how you'll approach the situation. Other times I have the frame first, and it doesn't really matter too much the art size. It just depends what size window I want for the frame. But in this sense, I could do any frame size I wanted, because the frame was going to be custom. So I placed the artwork in front of different colors, and only the colors I can work with. So there's no point. Maybe it would have looked great with a yellow background, but I don't have any yellow. So yeah, I think I tried the red and it just clashed. I don't like the red at all. And in the test strip, I think and I'll cover the test strip in the picture frame later, but I really didn't like the picture frame with the red. Any color red. And in the frame I use red orange, a little touches of it, but yeah, because I did want a little bit of and I wanted the blues and purples in the frame and the black. So and I didn't like the off-white or the eggshell color. I liked the blue, and I liked the white. Eventually, that's what I stuck with. After I knew that, I decided I had to decide what size window. So I'll go over the dimensions right now. So the picture is 5.5 by 7.5 inches. And going off mine, it's hard to read notes sometimes. You never leave good enough notes for yourself. But I decided for my matte window, well, I got written down 8.5 by 10.5. So that would be 1.5 inches all around, which I like that. I like 1.5. It's not a big picture. I remember, was it a book or a website? It was a book. This book, I think. If not this book, it was another book that had an illustration. I'll post the illustration. So the illustration showed you, and my print fell into the window. That guy recommended 1.5. So I went with 1.5. But, just to cover the philosophy of making picture frames, I made so many mistakes that the blue window, so the blue window, gosh, I need to learn the names of these. So the blue window, it was supposed to be 1/2 inch thickness all around. And I thought about 1/4 inch, but that's small. 1/4 inch isn't that big. I really like the way it turned. I really like and again, it's custom. I did it myself. So, if it's standard to do 1/4 inch, you want to stand apart. Like I said, 8.5 by 10.5. Though, in the future, my Lowe's cuts glass, but they sell a piece of glass that is 10 by 12. And I needed 10.5 by 12.5. So I paid an extra $2. It's not a big deal, but yeah, again, it's worth the $2 to get custom or just to do the way you want to. But I went on 1/2 inch. So when I was doing the math, and the math is always what trips everyone up. I'm pretty sure that's standard. Everyone gets tripped up on the math, but you can just call it. Oh yeah, you can just call it 8.5 by 6.5. Because if you count for, the 5.5 becomes 6.5, 7.5 becomes 8.5. And that helps when you draw the picture, because when I was doing the window for the mat, usually, well, I take that back. Usually I have different measurements. Yes, my problem is knowing, the problem was the final dimensions. Anyways, the math stumps me up. The math always stumps me up. So I'm going to skip that part. So I went with a 1/2 inch reveal of blue. And the mat I did bottom heavy because of the subject matter and its nature. Although I think it's a no, it's not a square. It's close to a square. 5 by 7. Not that close. So I chose bottom heavy. And I was going to do 1.5 inches. So right now I'm just doing 1/4 inch thickness on the bottom. On the weighted bottom, I just do 1/4 inch lately, just to kind of just to see. This was my second time cutting heavy bottom. I don't want to do too heavy of a bottom, but I do want it noticeable. The 1/4 inch is noticeable. It's noticeable, so I knew I wanted to do that. And another question I had to answer was, did I want my reveal to be heavy bottom? And no, I did not. It's not, you bottom heavy the mat, not the reveal. I think of the reveal in the same category. If you did a French line, or you just drew a line around the border of either the print, the paper, or the mat, you're not going to do the line bottom heavy. Like calligraphy or penmanship. You're not going to do that line heavy bottom. So I decided to leave the reveal, an even 1/2 inch all around. I bottom weighed the mat, but in reality, I think it's the dimensions are all off. I write it down on the back of the mat, but I didn't write it down. But they are wrong. I did mess up. The frame is not square. I need to buy a square. I don't have a square. Although, we'll transition to the frame soon. So I picked the mat. And yeah, I liked the blue reveal. And the blue, I thought, pulled out. I like pulling out the opposites. I like the complementary. So this is my second picture I framed. This is my second time doing this. And I like the complementary color. The blue's the opposite of yellows and orange. I thought yellow was the primary color. At least the yellow really stands out to me. I know it's kind of an orangey, magenta-ish color. Actually, purple might be the primary color, but I stuck with blue, and I don't have purple. I have purple in my class, so I went with blue, and I liked the white just because it made it pop. Usually, I wouldn't have thought to use. I thought the white was simple, which is good because the frame's not simple, and I really don't want to do a simple frame. The frame's fun, and I don't care just doing a white matte. I thought about painting the bevel the colors of a sunset, but I've not done that yet. For starters, I could not find my Scotch tape for another one. I can't find my Scotch. Well, I have my Scotch tape now, but when I was doing this, I could not find my Scotch tape. So I just stuck with white. And I'm getting good at cutting, and I really like the tool I use. It's easy to use. It's easy to understand. It's very easy to understand. And there's there's a lot of videos on how to use it. Yeah, it's great. It's good. But you might as well buy spare parts for the same time. I mean, like extra blades. You know, some kind of a brush to dust it off, keep it clean. You know, make sure you have all the right, you know, size screwdriver if it needs any Allen wrenches. You know, you have those. But yeah, it's great. It's good. Easy to use. There's a lot of videos about them online. I've noticed. I've not tried cutting it by hand. I don't. They say, I've read about it. They say there's a learning curve with using the ones by hand. I think you want to make it roll as easy as possible, and you want the bottom clean. Mine's just a razor blade. Mine's in a fixed position. Again, and you can look online at reviews, and I've repurposed plenty of used picture frames. Like I told you, usually I get the picture frame, I find a picture that fits, and I just cut whatever size mat I need to cut to fit that frame. And it's fun thrifting and finding frames, but my parents had this tool to cut the picture frame, and I'm still learning how to use it. This was only my maybe 4th time using this device. It's a very cool device. It's a guillotine style chopping blade. So it doesn't saw the wood, it chops the wood, and so you don't even need a sand before you join. You always get a guaranteed true 45-degree cut. And yeah, it always comes out perfect. It's a cool device, but it's tricky to use, and there's not a lot of good videos on how to use it. I think I know how to use it now, but yeah, I'm still learning how to. I'm still learning. I'm still learning the frame. All right, what's next? So I got my picture frame molding from Home Depot. Menards nor Lowe's carries any with a rabbit. So I went to Home Depot, got it shipped. And it's pine. It's a soft wood, so you don't really want to stain because there's no grain that's gonna lift to the surface. Or I mean, it's not gonna look that cool if you stain it. If you stain the wood, but it takes to glue well. So I glued it, and I used the tool to hold it in place and to clamp it in place while the glue dries. And like I said, it's not I mean, it's darn close to a rectangle, but it's not quite true. It's off by a hair, and that's my fault. It's not the device's fault. And after that, I did put nails into it. I did go through the frame with a nail. Yeah. But yeah, I just did one each corner, all around. I didn't think it was big enough to need two. Probably does. But I just did one all around. I'm learning still. It's glued pretty well. I'd like to not glue in the future. I think if you don't glue it, it can kind of wiggle and breathe and move. Maybe you don't. I don't know. Maybe you don't want that. I don't know. I want to figure something out. And I'll let you guys know what I come up with. I think I want to use those brackets on the back. I like those. It's a cool gothic. It's a cool gothic kind of industrial feel to it. I know you don't see, but that's why you charge $600 for a picture, because you have these cool touches and it costs money, but you know you're gonna get the money back, and it's worth it. This is supposed to last forever, at least 10 years. You want it to last 10 years. That's a pretty good. But I mean, look at the Mona Lisa. You never know. The frame, I nailed the frame together. And I messed up too. I had to recut the mat because I calculated the inside window of the frame, but not the rabbit window. Yeah, I still won't get it. I don't know what I'm going to do next time. But I totally goofed. That was my third mat I cut for this picture. So, yeah, if you make mistakes, don't feel bad. Oh, I need to add, the reason I chose to frame this way is because I wanted to show the artist's name. I think it's kind of, I just think it's rude if I cover his name up. Now, it's not a real painting. It's a print of his painting. So it's not even a real signature, probably. I don't know who Terry Davis is. But, yeah. So, but still, I wanted to show the paper. So I knew I wanted a reveal. So I knew I wanted a color. And let's just jump to painting the frame. I didn't get any good video of me painting the frame. And the whole point was to follow the book. So the book, Making Picture Frames in Wood, they give you an example of how to do a picture frame. It even shows you like what profiles you can cut the wood, like a 2x4, 1x2, whatever. And you can make custom your own picture frames. So I just tried replicating his painting style. And I did on a test strip piece first. And I like it, but I need a better comb. And I say that because he has you using matte acrylic and gesso. Yeah, you start with matte acrylic, and the matte acrylic seals the picture frame. It seals the wood, so anything that's not painted, you cover it in matte acrylics. I don't know, that's what he says to do. He doesn't really explain why. And he gives you, I'm looking at the book right now, he tells you for smooth paintings of colors, use acrylic brushes with gold color bristles, 1/4 inch, also 3/8 inch, 1/2 inch, 3/4 inch, and 1 inch wide, and a 1.5 inch sash painting brush for applying gold paint. Then, he continues, have on hand several narrow widths of flat red sable brushes and a number 6 and a number 10 round red sable brush as well. For dry brushing and dabbing on thick layers of modeling paste, use a hog bristle brush, number 2 and number 4 long, and a number 5 and a number 8 bright, and then parentheses short. And I didn't get all of them. I couldn't find all of them. And I spent $100 on paintbrushes. And then Michaels gives me a 20% off. I don't need 20% off now. Spend $100. Actually, I do need more brushes. So it's a really great book. I would totally recommend it. I don't know how to find it. Sorry. And he gives tips. Gesso, painted on thickly, retains brush marks that are difficult to sand out. So, for a smooth surface, thin with 1/3 of water and apply 3 or more coats to the wood until the grain is hidden. And I did do that for a lot of it. And, you kind of question, why even use the gesso if you're just going to add color to it and thin it? But I did. I used it a lot. I think it adds texture. It kind of makes it a little matte. It does make it appear matte. Because you can see the orange, I'll just call it orange. The orange trim I did on the frame is very glossy, and I put on thick. There's a lot of texture. And I purposely did that. Because if you get up close, you can really see it. And from a distance, hopefully, I like it. It matches. It goes with the frame. The frame could be used with a different picture. It's a versatile frame. It's not made just for that print. I like the black and the orange. And the black has, I sponged blue, whites, and purples. But you only see it from from up close. You can't really see it from a distance. Oh, another cool aspect is when you if you have the frame the right lighting, you can see a shadow underneath the print because it does stick out, and that's very appealing, very aesthetic, very nice. But back to the book. We used acrylic modeling paste. He says it's a white compound like gesso, but thickened with marble dust or carbonates. You use it to achieve heavy textures. And I did buy some. I did use it. Okay. So yeah, he keeps going, and he gives you tips. And with the paint strip, I followed the book very well. I really like the way it turned out on the test strip piece. What I was going to do was have red as the underbelly color and then do the orangey sunset on top of it. But when I got the actual frame I was using, it's not set up like the test piece or like the one in the book. It's nothing like the one in the book. None of them are. That frame is huge in the book. So I had to improvise. And his was very antique-y looking, and I like the antique look on the test strip. And this one obviously is not antiqued at all. Now I did some antiquing methods like dry brushing and sponging and applying thick. So, I mean, imagine if you just painted it orange and then you just did like maybe a violet purple. Like it would be so boring, just, I think it would have looked bad. You could have made it look good. Well, that's what I did. I made it look good. I like the antique look. It's not my dream picture frame, but I do think it looks good. I like the way it turned out. So that was painting the frame, and it was tough. It was fun. It wasn't tough. It was fun. It was worth every penny I spent. Getting the acrylics and the paint brushes, extremely fun. 10 out of 10 recommend. So you need all the tools when you do this. Well, that's almost any hobby you do. But I needed a way to... So this is another thing to think. So I needed a pin shooter. And you can get one by hand, which I was going to buy because I ran out of money for this video. That's what I've been waiting for to make this video. I needed a way to prevent the artwork from falling out of the frame. I didn't have any pins. And when you get used picture frames, usually you can replace a picture like once or twice, but you can't keep doing it. And you guys might run into that. So you're eventually going to need one, whether you make the frame or just use Goodwill or, thrift store frames. Used frames, whatever. I needed that, and I finally got that. And then I've got double-sided tape that I put around the frame, and I cover the back with paper, and you need to put in glass. And I went to Lowe's. Lowe's cuts my glass. You need to put in glass because it gets dusty. I've got pictures that I don't have in glass, and I framed them, I'll say a year and a half, maybe 2 years ago, and they're getting dusty. It's making me mad, so I'd rather have the glass than the dust, because the dust is ruining it. It's making me mad. So you need glass. You need to cover the back, and that prevents dust from coming in from the back, obviously. So that's the purpose of that. And there's a certain method to try to minimize the amount of dust. You try to sandwich the work. And I have, if you do photography, those little dust lens blowers. That's what I use. I just constantly blowing dust. And if you hold it upside down and then blow it, it works. Gravity works with you. So I sandwich, and I eyeball. I eyeball the blue reveal. It's not perfect, but I think that's fine. It's all a part of, it's man-made. It's the imperfections. And that could be something that would hold people back. And hopefully it does. Well, it is. It will. You just need to work with it. But that's what consisted of this. And I really wanted to make this video because there's a big lack of picture framing videos out there. And I'd like to film more. I know that the filming is not great. The angles suck. I know. It's my first video. If I get traction, even if I don't, I'll try to improve. But I really don't want to spend too much money on new tripods, new lenses, new cameras. I know. You'd think I'd want to buy a new camera. Yeah, I was filming with Olympus EM10 Mark. I think Mark II. I'm having an issue with my Mark III. But again, thank you for watching. And leave any comments down below. I would like you to subscribe. I plan on only making these kinds of videos. And yeah, I plan on only making these. I plan on not posting too much, but I'll see you all later.